And another thing people don't realize is how quickly these things spread.
They do, and they can be grandmothers within 2 weeks. So I mean, they just an adult bed bug can lay at least 200 and some eggs within her lifetime. So those can just go and go and go and go and go, and that's why it's so easy, to see you go from 1 to a population of 100, in a short amount of time.
Explain to me and the people, what do these things look like? Are they white? What color are they?
They're kind of a brown color, and I actually brought some pictures here. You probably can't see those out in the audience, but
oh my goodness!
But they're about 1/4 of an inch, so they're visible with the naked eye. And the older they get, the darker they get.
Okay.
Now the little nymph that actually takes the blood meal, he starts out being clear, and you can actually see the inside. When they take a blood meal, then they'll be red inside.
My goodness. I tell you, that's so powerful because it's spreading. It's spreading into public places like motels, hotels, public facilities, and you got to protect yourself from these things.
If you are staying in a hotel or a motel and you know that place has bed bugs, you can call your health department. Now, our environmental department goes out and does inspections on the hotels and motels. So when we get a complaint from a person that stayed in a motel that's in our jurisdiction, then we actually notify our environmentalist, and they go out and do an inspection. They can do something with the public places like the hotels and motels. We don't have any jurisdiction over areas such as residential places. So if your personal home, or if you rent an apartment or anything like that, the health department doesn't have jurisdiction there. But we do have a jurisdiction over any public place.
So is it good for people that are watching it and listening by the way of TV and radio to keep their place sanitary, keep their place good and clean, and use bleaches from time to time on your floors and areas, just to be sanitary? Well,
actually, if you have bed bugs, does not mean that you're dirty.
Right.
Because, very clean places can have bed bugs. A lot of the places in New York City had bed bugs, and I mean some of the real ritzy places, had bed bugs. So they can be anywhere. They don't discriminate. But it's just something that you need to be cognizant of. And we tell people, if you travel and you go into hotels and motels, to put your suitcases not on the floor, not on the bed, to put that in the bathtub. They don't like slick surfaces. They like places that they have carpeting or something that they can actually get a grip on.
What's the difference between like a bed bug and a dust mite?
Well, they're two different species.
Okay.
Yeah, bed bugs actually live on blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just protect yourself and watch over yourself. What about treatment? Like if somebody has these bed bugs, like if they're on their person, what do? They go to the hospital?
Well, they're not going to stay on you, but they get on you to take a blood meal.
Right.
If you have bed bugs or your family has bed bugs, the best thing to do is to call a professional exterminator. There are 2 types of treatment. There's a high heat treatment, and then there's the insecticidal spray. Of course, either one of those are not going to be cheap.
Exactly.
But don't try to do it yourself. The stuff that you buy over the counter is not strong enough to get rid of them. A lot of places will actually have you put those, like if it's a couch or something like that, to wrap it in plastic, to kind of smother those out, and particularly to keep them from spreading from one place to another.
That's a scary topic for a lot of people, because the word bed bugs nowadays, it's just like, we don't want that. It's kind of like head lice, Explain to me and the people about head lice, like our kids in school. That you're seeing a lot of that happening right now.
Well, and that's easily gotten rid of, because there's stuff on the market, the shampoos and stuff like that. So I mean, we're going to see that basically every school year. But bed bugs are a little bit different. They're a little bit harder to get rid of.
So it really takes a professional.
Right.
So don't try to get rid of them yourself, or you'll just probably mess things up. Yeah.